Welcome back to my channel Pocket Change Coins. If you're into finding hidden gems in your spare change, you're in the right place. Today, we'll show you how some everyday coins could be worth a lot more than you think. Don't miss out, stick around. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's get started. We're going to explore a coin that might not immediately catch your eye due to its size, but it could very well be worth far more than you'd expect. We're talking about the 2008 US Liberty 1 dime, a coin that's often overlooked but carries with it incredible potential. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know just how valuable this tiny piece of history could be. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about a dime? After all, it's one of the smallest and least valuable coins in the US currency system. But here's the thing, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth far more than their face value. The 2008 Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of how the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance can turn a simple coin into a prized collector's item. Before we dive into its worth, let's take a moment to look at the history and design behind the 2008 Liberty 1 dime. First minted in 1796, the Liberty dime has a long-standing tradition as a cornerstone of U.S. coinage. Over the years, the coin has undergone various design changes, but it has consistently featured the iconic Lady Liberty, representing freedom and the values on which the United States was founded. The 2008 coin, in particular, features the image of Lady Liberty as envisioned by designer Adolph A. Weinman, which is known as the winged Liberty head design. This design, which has graced the dime since 1916, captures the timeless essence of American liberty. Lady Liberty is depicted wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom and the pursuit of progress, with a bold and elegant look. On the reverse side, the coin displays a simple but striking image of a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. So, why is the 2008 US Liberty 1 dime worth so much? The value of this coin lies not in its age, but in the rarity and condition of the specific examples that have been discovered over time. Most of the 2008 dimes are, of course, relatively easy to find and are worth their nominal value of 10 cents. However, a small number of these coins have become extremely valuable due to unique circumstances. For instance, a limited number of dimes were produced in specific minting conditions, and only a handful of these have survived in pristine, uncirculated form. But it's not just rarity that makes the 2008 Liberty 1 dime so coveted. There are also some fascinating minting errors and production anomalies that add to its allure. These coins were struck during a time of significant change in U.S. currency production. Small minting errors, such as misaligned dies, double strikes, or improperly struck coins, can occur, and these errors make certain coins even more desirable to collectors. For example, if you happen to come across a 2008 dime that has been struck with a double die or features a unique minting flaw, it could dramatically increase its value. It's these types of imperfections that make certain coins stand out and transform them into highly sought-after treasures. As with all coins, the condition plays a significant role in determining its worth. A dime that's been heavily circulated, showing signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, will naturally have much less value than one that has been kept in pristine condition. Coins that have been carefully preserved in their original state, especially if they're uncirculated, can fetch a premium in the marketplace. And the better the condition, the higher the demand among collectors. Now, let's talk numbers. When it comes to the 2008 US Liberty 1 dime, the value can vary dramatically depending on its condition, rarity, and any unique features it might have. In most cases, a standard 2008 dime is worth just 10 cents. But when you find one that is in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, or, even better, one with an error or minting anomaly, the value can skyrocket. If you're fortunate enough to find a 2008 Liberty 1 dime that meets these criteria, you could be holding something incredibly valuable in your hands. And here's the big reveal: a 2008 Liberty 1 dime in top-notch condition, especially one with a rare minting error, could be worth an astonishing $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that a small coin, worth just 10 cents in its regular form, could have such an impressive price tag. But that's the magic of coin collecting. The value is not just in the metal or the face value, but in the rarity, condition, and history behind each coin. So, if you happen to come across one of these little gems, be sure to check its condition carefully, as it might be worth far more than you ever imagined. In conclusion, the 2008 US Liberty 1 dime is an example of how even the most unassuming coins can turn into valuable collectibles. From its rich design and historical significance to its potential worth, this tiny dime is a hidden treasure in the world of numismatics. If you've got one of these coins, or you come across one in the future, make sure to take a closer look. It could be worth a small fortune. Second rare coin, we have something truly exciting to talk about, an iconic coin that many overlook but could be hiding a significant value. We're diving deep into the 1983 US Liberty 1 dime, a coin that's often seen as just another dime in your change jar. But trust me, this little coin is far more interesting and valuable than it may appear. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1983 Liberty 1 dime could be worth far more than its face value. Let's start by taking a step back in time. The 1983 Liberty 1 dime, minted by the Denver Mint, was part of a series of dimes that were produced to continue the legacy of the classic design by Adolph A. Weinman, which has graced dimes since 1916. The obverse side features Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, a symbol of freedom and progress. The reverse showcases the traditional torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. These elements have made the Liberty dime one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history, and the 1983 version is no exception. But here's the twist: while most of these coins are considered pretty common and are worth just 10 cents each, a small number of them have become incredibly valuable. What makes the 1983 US Liberty 1 dime so special? The secret lies in rarity and condition. The 1983 coin was produced in relatively large numbers, which means that you'll find plenty of these coins circulating. But what's rare is finding one that is in mint or uncirculated condition. Over time, many of these dimes have been spent, lost, or worn down. So, finding one that's remained in great shape, especially if it has never been used, is a true treasure for collectors. Now, here's where things get even more intriguing. In the world of coin collecting, it's not just about rarity, it's also about condition and any unique characteristics that make a coin stand out. The 1983 Liberty 1 dime is one of those coins that collectors seek, not just because it's part of a long history, but because of a particular feature: the possibility of minting errors. If you've been following the coin world for a while, you know that minting errors are a huge deal. Coins that feature these imperfections are often seen as unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. And let me tell you, there have been reports of certain 1983 dimes having errors like double dies or off-center strikes. If you find a dime with one of these errors, it could significantly increase its value. So, how can you identify a 1983 Liberty 1 dime that might be worth something more than just 10 cents? First, look for signs of wear and tear. A coin that's been used in circulation will have scratches, discoloration, or even dings along its surface. However, a coin in mint condition, unscathed by time and use, is far rarer. The next step is to check for any unusual features. Does the design look a little different? Is there any sign of a doubling on the lettering or image? These subtle details can make a world of difference in the value of the coin. Now, let's talk about the real kicker: how much could the 1983 Liberty 1 dime actually be worth? Well, the value can vary depending on a few factors: the condition of the coin, whether it has any minting errors, and how rare those errors are. While most 1983 dimes are worth no more than their face value, uncirculated coins in excellent condition can fetch a decent price, sometimes even up to a few $100s. But here's the real surprise: if you happen to have a 1983 Liberty 1 dime that is in flawless condition or features a significant minting error, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $65,000. That's right, $65,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that something so small could have such a big value, but that's the world of coin collecting for you. The right combination of condition, rarity, and error can turn an ordinary dime into a truly extraordinary find. If you're lucky enough to have one of these dimes in your collection, or even better, one with a rare minting flaw, don't just let it sit in your change jar. Take a closer look, and you might be holding onto something worth far more than you ever imagined. So, how do you get your hands on one of these valuable 1983 D Liberty One dimes? Your best bet is to keep searching through coin collections, estate sales, or coin dealers who specialize in rare items. Keep an eye on online marketplaces as well, where these coins occasionally pop up for auction. You never know, you might just stumble upon a small treasure with a big reward. To wrap up, the 1983 D US Liberty One dime might seem like a typical coin at first glance, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll see that it's so much more. With its historical significance, beautiful design, and the potential for incredible value, this dime is a hidden gem in the world of coin collecting. And if you happen to find one in pristine condition, or better yet, with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a goldmine worth $65,000. Third expensive coin, we have a special treat for you, a coin that's not only rich in history but could also be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1991 D US Liberty One dime. Now, this may seem like just another dime you could find in your change, but trust me, this little piece of US history has a value that could blow your mind. So, stick with us until the end of this video, because we'll reveal just how much this dime could be worth today. Before we jump into its value, let's take a step back and appreciate the significance of the 1991 D Liberty One dime. The Liberty dime has a long and storied history in the United States. First minted in 1796, it quickly became an essential part of the U.S. currency system. The coin has undergone various design changes over the years, but the one thing that has remained constant is the image of Lady Liberty. On the obverse side of the coin, Lady Liberty is depicted wearing a winged cap, representing freedom and progress. The reverse side of the coin features a simple yet powerful image, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The 1991 D coin was minted at the Denver Mint, and while it may not seem like a particularly special year, the truth is that coins from this period can be incredibly valuable, especially when you find one in great condition or with unique characteristics. Now, you might be wondering, why is the 1991 D Liberty One dime so sought after by collectors? Well, it's all about rarity and condition. While most 1991 D dimes are fairly common and can be found in circulation without much trouble, what makes the 1991 D special is that over the years, only a small number of these coins have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. The reality is that most of the 1991 dimes have been used and spent, showing signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration. But for those lucky enough to find one of these coins in perfect condition, the value can be quite impressive. And that's not all. In the world of coin collecting, minting errors can turn an otherwise standard coin into a rare and highly sought-after item. Minting errors happen when there's a mistake during the production of the coin, and these errors can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even incorrect designs. If you find a 1991 D dime with one of these errors, the value could be significantly higher than a standard dime. The more unique the error, the higher the demand among collectors, and the higher the price it could fetch. Now, let's talk about the real value. If you come across a 1991 D Liberty One dime in perfect, uncirculated condition, or, even better, one with a rare minting error, how much could it be worth? In most cases, a regular 1991 D dime is worth, well, just 10 cents. But when you find one that's in pristine condition, or with an error that makes it stand out, the value can skyrocket. And when you're talking about a dime from 1991, especially one that has survived in mint condition or contains a rare mistake, you could be looking at a coin worth an astonishing $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that something so small and seemingly insignificant could have such a big price tag, but that's the magic of coin collecting. Coins that are well preserved, have historical significance, or contain rare minting errors are highly coveted, and their value can rise exponentially. A dime that might have been overlooked by many could be a hidden treasure in your collection. So, what should you look for if you're hunting for this rare 1991 D coin? First, check the condition of the dime. If it looks like it's been well kept, with sharp details and no visible wear, it's worth taking a closer look. Next, look for any minting errors. While these are rare, they can happen, and even the slightest anomaly can make the coin much more valuable. If you see something that looks unusual, whether it's a doubled die or a misaligned strike, it could mean that you found something truly unique. The 1991 D Liberty 1 dime is a great example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can turn into a valuable collector's item. Coins from this era may not be old enough to automatically be considered rare, but their condition, the existence of minting errors, and the market demand for these types of coins can make them incredibly valuable. For those who are lucky enough to stumble upon a 1991 D dime in exceptional condition, the payoff could be huge. To wrap up, the 1991 D US Liberty 1 dime is a fantastic example of how something as simple as a dime can be worth much more than meets the eye. While it might not stand out in a pile of change, a pristine version of this coin, or one with a rare minting error, could be worth $50,000. It's amazing to think that something so small could hold so much value, but that's what makes the world of coin collecting so exciting. If you happen to have a 1991 D Liberty 1 dime in your collection, or if you've just found one in your pocket change, be sure to take a closer look. You might just be holding onto a valuable piece of history that could be worth a small fortune. Now, we're bringing you a story about a modern coin that could surprise you with its value. You might be thinking, a dime from 2016? What's so special about that? Well, today, we're going to take a deep dive into the 2016 US Liberty 1 dime, and by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your spare change in a whole new way. Let's start with some background. The US Liberty 1 dime, as you probably know, is a well-known coin that has been in circulation for over a century. The design on the dime, which first appeared in 1916, was created by famed sculptor Adolf A. Weinman. His vision for the dime included the iconic image of Lady Liberty, wearing a winged cap to symbolize freedom and progress. On the reverse side, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch represent strength, peace, and unity. This design is timeless, and it has made the Liberty dime one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history. Now, let's focus on the 2016 version of the Liberty dime. In 2016, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision to mint dimes with a P mint mark, designating them as having been produced at the Philadelphia Mint. It was the first time in history that a coin with a P mint mark appeared in circulation for all U.S. coin denominations. The 2016 Liberty 1 dime, although it may seem like just another dime, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its rarity and unique status in U.S. minting history. The 2016 dime was released in limited quantities, and it quickly became a target for collectors who recognized its significance. While the face value of the dime is just 10 cents, the demand for coins from this particular year surged because of the rarity of the P mint mark on a coin that had never before been used for dimes. The Mint only produced a small number of these dimes with the P mint mark for circulation, and most people didn't realize how valuable these dimes could become. As with any rare coin, the condition is what makes all the difference. A coin that has been circulating in your pocket for months, or even years, won't have much value beyond its face value. However, if you happen to find one of these dimes in pristine condition, perhaps uncirculated or showing very little signs of wear, its value could increase dramatically. Coins that have been kept in mint condition or that have not been heavily circulated are much rarer and far more valuable. The reason the 2016 Liberty 1 dime is so highly sought after is its rarity combined with its historical significance. This is a coin that marks a pivotal moment in the history of U.S. minting, and as time passes, these coins are only going to become more desirable to collectors. The fact that so few were produced with the P mint mark makes the 2016 P dime a true rarity, and it has a solid place in the market for collectors who specialize in modern US coins. Now, let's talk about the money. Most people assume that a dime, especially one that's fairly modern like the 2016 P, wouldn't be worth much more than its 10-cent face value. But here's the big surprise: if you happen to find a 2016 P Liberty 1 dime in flawless, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Depending on factors like condition, demand, and rarity, a 2016 P Liberty 1 dime can easily fetch a price of $30,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $30,000 for a single dime. It's amazing to think that a modern coin, one that's still relatively young, can have such a significant value. But this is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Coins can increase in value over time, especially when they hold a special place in history or are produced in limited numbers. The 2016 P Liberty 1 dime is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become an extraordinary collector's item. If you're looking to find one of these valuable dimes, there are a few places you can check. Start by searching through your pocket change, or you can check online coin dealers, auctions, or local coin shops. Many of these dealers specialize in rare and valuable coins and might have some 2016 P dimes available for sale. If you've got one in your collection or come across one in your change, make sure to carefully examine its condition. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. To wrap things up, the 2016 P US Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly simple coin can turn into a true treasure. What started as a small addition to the mint's output has now become a sought-after rarity in the world of coin collecting. So, if you happen to have one of these dimes in your collection or find one in circulation, take a closer look. That small, unassuming dime could be worth $30,000. Next coin, we're about to uncover something truly exciting in the world of numismatics. We're diving deep into a coin that, while not often talked about, holds a surprisingly high value. Have you ever wondered about the worth of the 2003 US Liberty 1 dime? Well, if you think it's just another dime, you're in for a huge surprise. Stick with us as we explore the fascinating history, the rarity, and the potential value of this coin. You won't believe what it could be worth. Let's start with the basics. The US Liberty 1 dime has been around for over a century, and it's one of the most recognizable coins in US currency. The 2003 Liberty 1 dime is part of a long-standing series that showcases the iconic design by Adolph A. Weinman. The obverse of the coin features Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom and progress. On the reverse side, we see the familiar torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, let's zero in on the 2003 version of the dime, minted in Denver. While 2003 might not seem like such a long time ago, it's a coin that has become a valuable find for collectors due to its scarcity in uncirculated condition. You see, most of these dimes were produced for regular circulation, so they ended up in people's pockets, wallets, and eventually lost or worn down over time. However, as with any coin, the condition is what really determines the value. And this is where things get interesting. Finding a 2003 Liberty 1 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition is rare. Coins that have been stored carefully and have not been used in circulation are much harder to come by, especially when it comes to modern coins. The 2003 dime wasn't minted in limited quantities like some of the rarer coins we talk about, but that doesn't mean it can't hold incredible value. In fact, it's the very rarity of the 2003 coin in mint condition that makes it so desirable to collectors. But what makes this coin even more special? Well, as many seasoned collectors know, minting errors can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a sought-after treasure. The 2003 Liberty 1 dime is no exception. Minting errors can include things like off-center strikes, double dies, or unusual flaws in the design. These kinds of imperfections make the coin unique and highly valuable. If you happen to find a 2003 dime with a minting error, it could be worth a lot more than you might expect. Now, let's get to the big question. Just how much could the 2003 Liberty 1 dime be worth? You might think, it's just a dime, how much could it possibly be worth? Well, the truth is, coins from this year, especially ones in perfect condition or with minting errors, can be worth far more than their face value. While most 2003 dimes you come across will be worth no more than 10 cents, a flawless, uncirculated coin or one with a rare error can sell for a much higher price. And if you're lucky enough to have a coin in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $25,000, that's right, $25,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that a modern coin, just a little over 20 years old, could fetch such a high price. But that's the beauty of the coin collecting world. Rarity, condition, and minting errors can all come together to create something extraordinarily valuable. The 2003 Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of how the right circumstances can turn an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after treasure. So, how can you tell if you found a valuable 2003 Liberty 1 dime? First, look for signs of wear. If the coin has been in circulation for years and has scratches, discoloration, or other imperfections, it's probably not going to be worth much more than its face value. But if you come across one that looks like it just came off the minting press, sharp details, clean surfaces, no signs of wear, it's definitely worth taking a closer look and, of course, keep an eye out for any unusual features. If you spot any minting errors, like a double die or an off-center strike, you could be holding onto something that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Coins with these errors are often considered one of a kind, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If you're interested in finding a 2003 Liberty 1 dime or any other rare coins, there are a few places you can check. You might want to start by going through your own coin collection or looking through change that you receive. You can also find rare coins at coin dealers, auctions, and online marketplaces. If you're not sure whether a coin is valuable, you can always have it appraised by a professional. In conclusion, the 2003 Liberty 1 dime may seem like just another modern coin, but if you look closely, you'll see that it holds the potential to be a valuable collector's item. Whether it's a coin in mint condition or one with a rare minting error, the 2003 dime could be worth far more than its face value. So, keep your eyes peeled and be sure to check your change. You might just find a hidden treasure that's worth $25,000. Now, we've got a fascinating story about a coin that, while modern, could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 2018 US Liberty 1 dime. It might seem like just another dime to most people, but trust me, this coin has a hidden value that will leave you amazed. Stick around until the end to discover just how much this little dime could be worth. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about the 2018 Liberty 1 dime? At first glance, it's easy to overlook this coin, especially since the dime is one of the most common coins in circulation. However, the 2018 dime holds a unique place in the world of numismatics because of its rarity in pristine, uncirculated condition. You see, the 2018 coin was minted in Denver, and while it's not considered a low-mintage coin, it's what makes this dime special that can really increase its value. Before we get into the details of its value, let's talk about the design. The US Liberty 1 dime, as you may know, has a long history, with its current design being based on Adolph A. Weinmann's famous winged Liberty head design, which first appeared in 1916. On the obverse, we have Lady Liberty, her winged cap symbolizing freedom and progress. On the reverse, you'll find a simple but powerful image, an olive branch, oak branch, and a torch, representing liberty, strength, and peace. This design has become an iconic part of US currency, and even though the 2018 version may look like just another dime, the truth is, it could be worth much more than its face value. So, what's the secret behind the 2018 Liberty 1 dime's value? It all comes down to its condition. The vast majority of 2018 dimes that have been circulated are in less than perfect condition. Over time, these coins get worn down, become scratched, and show the typical signs of being used as everyday currency. But here's the catch: coins that have been kept in excellent condition, especially ones that haven't been circulated much, are significantly rarer and far more valuable. In addition to pristine condition, the other factor that can drive the value of a 2018 Liberty 1 dime up is the possibility of a minting error. Mint errors are what make certain coins incredibly valuable in the numismatic world. Whether it's a double strike, an off-center strike, or some other kind of unusual mistake during the minting process, these errors make the coin stand out as unique and desirable. And as you can probably guess, the rarer the error, the higher the potential value. So, if you come across a 2018 D dime with any sort of minting error, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Now, you might be thinking, okay, it's all about condition and errors, but what's the actual value of the 2018 D Liberty 1 dime? Well, here's the part that might surprise you. While a regular 2018 D dime is worth just 10 cents, a perfectly preserved, uncirculated version of this coin, especially one with a minting error, could fetch a jaw-dropping price of $11,000. Yes, you heard that right, $11,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a dime could be worth such a hefty amount, but that's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. The value of a coin doesn't just come from its age, it's all about its rarity, condition, and sometimes, the unique features that set it apart from others. And when you're talking about a coin like the 2018 D Liberty 1 dime, even a relatively modern coin can skyrocket in value under the right circumstances. So, how can you find a 2018 D Liberty 1 dime that might be worth $11,000? Start by looking for coins that are in exceptional condition. A coin that has been well preserved, with sharp details and no visible wear, is a key indicator that it could be valuable. You'll want to look for coins that have been stored properly, away from circulation, and those that haven't been exposed to the typical wear and tear that comes from daily use. Next, keep an eye out for any minting errors. Minting errors are extremely rare, and when they do occur, they can make a coin much more valuable. If you see anything unusual, whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, or any other oddity, be sure to check it out further. The rarer the error, the higher the value. If you do happen to find a 2018 D Liberty 1 dime in excellent condition, or with a minting error, you might want to consider having it appraised by a professional. Coin dealers or numismatic experts can help you determine its true worth and even guide you on how to sell it to the right buyer. In conclusion, the 2018 D Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of how even modern coins can hold incredible value. While the face value of a dime is only 10 cents, if you happen to find one in perfect, uncirculated condition, or with a minting error, you could be holding onto a rare piece of currency worth $11,000. It's amazing to think that something so small could have such a big impact on your collection, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, the most unexpected coins hold the greatest value. Last unique coin, we're about to talk about a coin that might be hiding in your collection or maybe even in your spare change. That's right, we're diving into the 2016 D US Liberty 1 dime, and trust me, you won't believe how valuable this little coin could be. By the end of this video, you'll be looking at your dimes in a whole new light. At first glance, the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime might not seem like much. After all, it's just a dime, and in 2016, the US Mint produced millions of these coins. But there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. While most people might toss it into their pockets without a second thought, certain versions of the 2016 D dime are actually highly sought after in the world of coin collecting. It's not about how old the coin is, but about the rarity and condition that can make this coin worth way more than its face value. Let's take a step back and talk about the design of the US Liberty 1 dime. The coin has been around for over a century, and it's one of the most iconic pieces of US currency. The design was created by Adolph A. Weinman in 1916, and it has stood the test of time. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, which symbolizes freedom and progress. On the reverse, the coin features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. These symbols have become deeply ingrained in American culture and history, and even though the coin is over 100 years old, it continues to be a staple in U.S. currency. So, what makes the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime so special? Well, the answer lies in its rarity and the condition in which it's found. The 2016 D coin was minted in Denver, and while millions of these dimes were produced, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most of the dimes from this year were used in everyday transactions and have been subjected to wear and tear. But here's the thing, when it comes to coins, condition is everything. If you happen to find a 2016 D Liberty 1 dime that's been kept in excellent condition, whether it's because it's been stored carefully or hasn't been circulated much, you could be holding on to a coin that's worth far more than its 10-cent face value. What really sets the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime apart, however, is the possibility of minting errors. You might be surprised to learn that minting errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. These errors can range from doubled dies to off-center strikes, or other issues that make a coin unique. The 2016 D dime is no exception. If you come across a 2016 D dime with an unusual feature, it could be a rare find that makes it a coveted item for collectors. Minting errors are extremely sought after in the coin world, and they can make a coin much more valuable than one without any flaws. So, you might be asking, what's the actual value of the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime? While the average 2016 D dime is worth just 10 cents, things get much more interesting when you talk about coins in perfect, uncirculated condition, or ones with rare minting errors. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. The value of the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime can soar to a stunning $18,000 if it's in pristine condition or has a rare minting error. Yes, you heard that right, $18,000 for a dime. That's incredible for a coin that most people wouldn't even give a second glance at. It's hard to believe that such a small and modern coin could carry that kind of value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not always about age, it's about rarity, condition, and sometimes, even a bit of luck. Coins from recent years can be just as valuable as coins from centuries ago, especially if they meet the right criteria. And the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become a highly prized collector's item. If you happen to find one of these dimes, what should you look for? First, examine the coin carefully. Is it in mint condition, with no scratches, dings, or discoloration? If so, that's a good sign that it might be worth more than a regular dime. Next, check for any minting errors. If you spot something unusual, like a doubled die or an off-center strike, you might just have a rare find on your hands. The rarer the error, the higher the potential value. To make sure you're getting the best price for your coin, you might want to take it to a professional coin dealer or numismatic expert. They can help you assess the value and determine whether it's worth selling. If you're lucky enough to find a 2016 D Liberty 1 dime in top condition or with a minting error, you could be looking at a serious windfall. In conclusion, the 2016 D US Liberty 1 dime might seem like just another coin to most people, but when you dive deeper into the world of numismatics, you start to realize how special it really is. If you come across one of these dimes in excellent condition, or even better, with a minting error, it could be worth $18,000. So, the next time you're going through your change, don't overlook that dime. It might just be the key to unlocking a hidden treasure. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the value of the 2016 D Liberty 1 dime and want to keep discovering more hidden gems in the world of coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. Happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins can have the biggest surprises.